42 kilometers, 195 meters for 3 hours, 12 minutes and 50 seconds at an average pace of 4 minutes and 34 seconds per kilometer still sounds insane to my ears. But last weekend I did it. I ran my first ever marathon, the Zurich Marathon, and it turned out to be one of the greatest days of my entire life. So today I wanted to sit down and talk you guys through the entire journey, how the day unfolded, what my emotions were, how I felt, and most important, probably how the run went, and just how it is to run your first marathon. So the alarm went off quite early at 4:30 a.m. I wanted to eat 3 hours before the race start, which was set at 8 a.m. So that meant I needed to eat by 5 a.m. So I headed to the kitchen and had my overnight oats topped with bananas, the perfect race nutrition, which is high in carbs and high in fiber, which keeps you and your glycogen storage full for the race. I also downed some electrolytes to make sure that hydration and salt intake was dialed in. Up until now, I was pretty nervous, but now my nervousness slowly faded away. After breakfast, I still had time to pack all the things I didn't do the evening before and put on my race fit, and also received some good luck wishes from my mom before we were heading out to the train station. All the nerves were gone. Basically, I didn't expect that, but I was just super excited to race this race because I've trained so hard. I was sure that it's gonna be amazing. At the start line, I also met up with my brother. He also ran the marathon, but he did it with a barrel on his neck. At the start line, I also packed my pre-prepared snacks. So these were 2 times 60 grams of dates. I took them at kilometer 7 and 21. Then 2 gels. One I had at kilometer 14 and one at 35, a caffeinated one at 35 for that final stretch. And also a energy bar for kilometer 28. So I take a snack every 7 kilometers, and I did hydrate with the stands they had at the marathon, which were a lot. And my official goal was 3 hours and 30 minutes. I think this was a pretty realistic goal since I ran a half marathon 6 months before at a time of 1 hour and 44 minutes. So I just needed to hold the same pace for double the distance, and I thought that's doable if you train half a month, despite also having issues with my knee, which probably cost me 2 to 3 months of proper training. But actually 2 months before the race, I ran a 30-kilometer long run together with my brother at the exact pace I needed to hold for the marathon. And then I realized I set my goal too low, or too high if you look at the time. If I can hold it for 30 kilometers 2 months before, I should be able to hold it for 42 kilometers with ease, especially with the nerves, with proper carb loading. And Zurich is a pretty flat marathon. And that combined with me reading a lot of David Goggins, or with me reading his 2 books, and me realizing that humans are so much more capable than we think of, I set myself the goal of 3 hours and 10 minutes, which meant to run those 42.2 kilometers at an average pace of 4 minutes and 30 seconds per kilometer, which I've never run before. 5 days before the race, I did a quick 6-kilometer speed run, and I could not hold the pace there. So that was pretty unrealistic, but nevertheless, I tried to shoot for it. When the start gun went off, I just tried to hold that 3:10 pace, and it actually went pretty good. 5 kilometers in, I felt great. At kilometer 7, my left foot went numb. I've never experienced such a thing, but I felt good. My legs felt fresh. My heart rate was pretty stable and good. So I decided to not stop and loosen up my shoes. I just pushed through it, and fortunately 10 kilometers later the feeling came back into my foot and everything went great. Once I've reached the half marathon mark, I still felt great. At kilometer 22, my family was also there to cheer me on, which gave me an additional boost. And I really felt great, and I couldn't believe that I was able to hold that pace. And then at kilometer 30, suddenly I had some insane side stitch. That was the worst side stitch I've ever had. I've never had such pain while running. So I tried to hold the pace nevertheless, but the side stitch just didn't go away. So I had to slow down a little bit for 2 to 3 kilometers. I reduced my pace by 30 seconds per kilometer, which is not a lot, but it helped. And the side stitch went away as fast as it came. From there on, it was super tough to get to that 4:30 pace again, although I was almost able to do it, but it was just super tough that late in the race. Especially I could feel my upper legs, how they wanted to cramp, so I'd really pay attention to it. And at the end I crossed the finish line at 3 hours 12 minutes and 50 seconds, which is, well, 2 minutes and 50 seconds above my goal I've set. But honestly, it was still, it's so cool. I mean, I've managed to do what I've never thought is possible. As said, 5 days before, I couldn't hold that pace for 6 kilometers. Now I did hold a faster pace for 42.2 kilometers. I hit a PR in 1 mile, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and of course marathon. So, which is pretty, well, insane, but sad somehow at the same time. Then after the race, I was able to watch my brother finish with the barrel too, which was super cool. I could talk with some friends who ran it too, and it was just a super amazing experience. But yeah, the real challenge then came when I needed to go back with the train, because if I've just lifted my legs a little bit, they would cramp right away, and I'd lost every hold I had, so it was quite tough to get down the stairs. I genuinely believe that everybody should run a marathon in their life. Just training for the marathon, most of the time alone, in good weather, in bad weather, in the heat, in the cold. It just teaches you so much about life in general, I think, especially about discipline, consistency, and your own limits. And if you then put all this training on the race day itself, it's just the best feeling, really. If you see this, please sign up to your next local marathon. It is worth it. Even though you might pay $150, Swiss francs, euros, whatever, it is worth it. And it's an investment in your future, and I genuinely believe that. And for me personally, it's just the beginning of my running journey. I'll do my next marathon in October, the Swiss City Marathon in Lucerne. And the goal is clear, to go sub 3 hours. So if you're into running or chasing big goals, please subscribe. I would love to have you here while I'm documenting my journey through life and my journey in running, especially. And if I've inspired you to run your first marathon, please leave a like here. It would mean so much to me. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you in the next one. And thank you so much for watching.